when I was about 12 years old, 12 or 13 years old, and if you've heard the story before, I apologize, but you can't hear this stuff too much, to be honest with you. I've been talking about it for 30 years every day, and I still get excited, as you can see, about talking about it, because it's just amazing. 12 or 13 years old, I was at school with a guy called Lawrence Gilbert, who was either the great-grandson or the grandson of Jack Cohen, who started Tesco's. So he come up to me one day and he said, "Christ, you won't believe what happened." I said, "What was that?" He said, "I bought an old Sunbeam Galbert off one of his relatives or something that had been lying about in the garden." He said, "I got hold of it and I cleaned it up and I sold it for 10 quid. Now, you've got to remember that £10 when I was 12 years old was a man's wages for a week, believe it or not, right? So as a young lad at 12 or 13 telling me that he's just earned a man's wages, that it takes a man a week to earn, that just reselling a car. Now, that went in. Now, I lived in a little village near London Airport called Colnbrook. The odds of me finding a car was remote, but that went in because what went in, I was relating what he did to get the money. So it hit home. Anyway, lo and behold, 2 months later, I'm walking down the village high street, went across a little railway line at the end, and I looked in and I saw a car, all dusty and leaning over to one side like that. And in it had a little thing, "For sale, £5." So I thought, "Oh, that's handy." All the Lawrence Gilbert story going around in my head. Here we go, lovely. So went home, got my money from me milk round and me butcher's round and all the other bits and pieces, and I had £5. And I remember distinctly walking down to get this car, saying, "I wonder if I offered him less money, he'd take less money." That's as clear as anything. What made me say it? So I went along to the house, and in my best car dealer's voice at 12 or 13 years old, I knocked on the door, said, "Would you take £4 for the car?" He said, "You cheeky little bastard." He said, "I will." So he took me in. In them days, it was an old green logbook, and you used to handwrite your name in it, take it up the post office and all that, and they'd stamp it, say you bought it. So I've now got a logbook to a car. I walked back down the village. I said to me, "Mum," she said, "What?" She said, "Come with me. I've got to go and pick a car up." What? So I'm dragging her up the high street. So we get to the place, jumped in the car. The bloke showed us all the bits and pieces. One problem. Mum was a district nurse. The only thing she'd ever driven was a Morris Minor with a floor gear change. This had a column change. Oh, God, so I said, "Where's the first gear, mate?" So he says, "Put your clutch in." So he puts it in first gear, and off we go. Boom, 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 jumping down the high street, stayed in first gear all the way home, through the arch, and back into the back of the house. Well, I spent all weekend cleaning that car, and it came up as if it had just left the showroom. And all I had was an old bit of cloth and, bit of soap, washing up liquid and what have you. And then I put it on the Monday morning. We were right on the high street, and we had a coaching house, so where the old stage coaches used to go back through. I parked it in there, and it was gleaming. We used to say in the old days, it looked like a shilling up a sweep's arse. It was absolutely gleaming. And I put a little sign in it, "For sale, £25. I think I'll give Lawrence Gilbert 10 quid, £25. Chance in me arm, £25. Knock on Abington." That was the name of our house, after 4 o'clock, because that's when I got in from school. Well, Monday evening, I come in, there's a bloke, 4:10 bloke, knocked on the door with £25. £25, right? He's bought the car. Now, I've earned 2 men's wages for cleaning a car. Now, programming. Here we go. This is what happens. A long bit of a story, but leaning in, how do we get programmed? My dad, bless him, spent the next 2 months every day telling me that would never happen again. That was like getting struck by lightning. It could never, ever happen again. Now, that's what he's doing. Now, he's not doing that to harm me. He's doing that so that I don't program myself to think, God, you know, if I see another one of them, I'm definitely going to do that. Because if I don't see another one, I might be upset. So really and truly, most of the programming that you get in life comes from people trying to help. Now, my dad's trying to convince me it will never happen again. Right? Luckily, I never took that on board, because when I was 17, guess what I did? Opened a bloody car yard, right? And it stood me in great stead. But can you see the programming that if I'd have bought into the fact that it could never happen again, my life would have been totally different. And so many times in your life, you will find people giving you advice that is absolutely not serving you, but trying to prevent you from doing something that might not work, right? That's the worst that can happen. You do something and it won't work, but they would think it's better for you to do nothing.